Colts going.
All right. Crossroads Sports, episode number 312. I'm your host, Brandon Reef, joined as always by my co-host, Jonathan Birdsong. JB, welcome to the show. Blog Talk's having issues tonight, so no call-in / audio version of it.
I'm hurt.
Just the video version tonight. You get to see our beautiful faces.
Correct.
So,
Just like it was back on, 20-some years ago on West 38th Street. Best, what I'm saying?
yeah, how was your week, man? I was tuned out of sports. I was on a golf trip all week, so.
My week, interesting, what I'm saying? The kid decided to go back to school, back to Indiana State. Go Sycamores, right? That's why I said on my Facebook page, man, I can't wait for the Ball State, Indiana State game. Man, that's because everybody know that game, well, at least in my era, that was kind of like a rivalry game. And Coach, actually, I was on the, Coach was on the, Coach Mike Lewis was on the, going through the season opener. Right? He's like, man, it's kind of hard, getting interstate guys, teams to play one another. So this year, I know we supposed to be talking about football, but they can't talk about Ball State kind of, but like now, he's talking about this. So this year they play, Ball State plays Indiana State. They got, so I guess the stars of the line, they got Evansville. You know what I'm saying? I think there's another. And don't they play? They don't play Butler this year, but they got some interstate rivalry games, man. So like, yeah, the kid, I can't wait, man. I can't wait. You know what I'm saying? Indiana State, Ball State, but like, no, it's good to be back. We got her all moved in.
Nice.
This weekend, man. Ding, I retired from Target, so don't come up here looking for me no more for the Target, man. You know what I'm saying? I tried to put in my sick time after I quit, but they said no to that, man. But
well, salute to you leaving there.
Right. Well, hey, man, give me more time, to connect with the sports. Give me more time, start little debates. I don't start no arguments.
Healthy debates.
Healthy debates, man. And then we've had some of those. You know what I'm saying? But like, no, man, it's a real good week. I actually, Blog Talk. I do like Blog Talk because you get to talk with the callers.
Yeah.
I'm saying, shame on you ain't called in 929-477-3231 on a Wednesday night with Brandon Reef. Shame on you. But the point is, man, this is cool too, man, because we are, video friendly. So, man, like, dude, I know I just spoiled, the Indiana State, Ball State talk already. So, man, where you want to start tonight at?
Yeah, I want to dive right in. Let's go straight to the Indianapolis Colts, John. As they could see, boom, popped up on our screen there. There we go. Stats for the game. Colts win 21-13, as you can see there. Obviously, no, Anthony Richardson did not play. You had Bean play, Slovis, and Ellinger as your guys. Tell you what, man, this Bean kid, he might be earning himself a spot over Sam Ellinger, part of the team. I think the highlight spot for me was Treadwell. The Treadwell who used to play for Minnesota comes out 7 catches on 7 targets, 72 yards. Kind of an ugly game, but Scott got the touchdown. Goodson got the touchdown. No Jonathan Taylor in that game, but Colts win. It looked like a typical preseason game number 2 would look like under the lights at Lucas Oil this past week.
Yeah, kind of what you pointed out some great individual offensive efforts, man. I kind of point to the defense, man. I think the defense is still going to be rock solid. Everybody's still they're going to question, them in the secondary and like what they have there and whatnot. But like, man, I like what the the coach put out there on display in preseason. But you can't, you can't necessarily get your hopes up
right.
from a false standpoint. I think the coach though, Brandon, should. As long as the quarterback can stay healthy, man, I think the coach should, top 12 in offense this year. You know what I'm saying? If they can get that, kicker, get his mind right, you overpaid for a kicker anyway.
Right.
And I get it. Y'all still got jitters from the kid they drafted from Georgia from a couple years ago, man, or whatever. So you went out and kind of overpaid. I mean, I get that dude from the Rams. With the Rams, he was incredible. So you expecting incredibles, but like, you have to win. Everybody knows it. You have to win in football games and definitely get to a championship. You have to win in offense, defense, and special teams, man. And again, we know what the offense is going to kind of look like. This still is an evaluation period for this quarterback. I also coach are kind of vanilla. Sorry, it's a bad word if it is. Coach kind of vanilla at tight end, but they talking about carrying, extra 4 times. Crazy. You know what I'm saying? But they're kind of vanilla, meaning that I say vanilla just because it's not real explosive, man. You know what I'm saying? We don't have tight ends living in the end zone, you know what I'm saying, with the last few seasons that we, you know what I'm saying, we had. So, but no, man, I think the coach is in great evaluation period. You know what I'm saying? This is it's kind of it's not all on his shoulders, the quarterback, but his health is. You know what I'm saying? But you know, this is NFL. They're not gonna. I don't think they don't necessarily shy away from him in running plays. But they're gonna have to, you know what I'm saying, utilize all their all, you know what I'm saying, their options. So because like nobody wants this kid to get hurt at all. Nobody wants him to have another short season. Nobody wants to see, you know what I'm saying, Mr. You know what I'm saying, he's not decrepit, but like nobody wants to see, you know what I'm saying, Flacco, you know what I'm saying, come off, you know what I'm saying. But you bring up a good point, man. Some of these quarterbacks, I was high on Slovis when he was back, you know what I'm saying, way back when he was at USC, man, and he's kind of shown that on an NFL level, rather, that he can play the position, but he can't really push it down the field. So, like, how much do you want to invest in that? So, that's kind of what I took away from the you know, from the Colts this past weekend.
Yeah, obviously they've got one more game. They've got a game tomorrow night. No, Thursday night at Cincinnati as their final game before the regular season starts in 2 weeks. And then you've got the first game of the year, which is probably you can say it's one of the biggest games of the year. Home game, divisional rival against Houston, where you did not take care of business at all last year, there or at home, where you could have gotten the playoffs. So you got to believe, and you haven't won it's been 10 years since you've won a home opener, which is crazy. So there's a lot of big gameness going on coming up for the Indianapolis Colts, John. And right now, if I were to look at the line for that game, that's coming up in a couple weeks. Give me a second here. I'll load it up for you.
Colts ain't getting blown out.
Colts right now are underdogs by 1.5. If you're a Colts fan, I think you take the plus 1.5, and I think you take the money line of plus 102.
Right.
I think you take both of those, and you thank me on Sunday evening.
Oh man, now he said thank him. Wow.
So
man is already doing his victory lap, y'all. I really do believe the Colts, and man, it won't shock me if they be a top 7 offense for real.
Yeah, they got a lot to do. Speaking of that, passing yards and passing touchdowns, where do you expect Richardson to fall in line with those?
If he's all things, he plays all, you know what I'm saying, 17. Let's say he plays.
Yeah.
That's not fair. Let's say he plays 15.
Okay.
Passing yards, we should be living in a 2,500 world.
Okay.
2,500, that's reasonable.
I was thinking 38 to 4,000.
Already? Well, you know what? I say this here, like, how can you say in one segment you got him in the 2,000s? Have you really seen him have a bad game? You know what I'm saying? Where we throw interception after interception, like that, where quarterbacks kind of progress through. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
Yeah, man, he's not a rookie, but he is. You know what I'm saying? We still need some. You know what I'm saying? Some moss underneath that. You know what I'm saying? On those, but you know what I'm saying? I don't think Shane Stockton's going to necessarily shy away from the running option of his game, but I also think they're going to protect him. If they regardless of what teams say, Brandon, they hear what I'm saying, because guess what? The media ain't just Joe Smo podcasters no more. The media is former football players. You know what I'm saying? And saying what they see and what, you know what I'm saying, from their lens, man. So not to knock Crossroads Sports in any realm of imagination, man. I go toe to toe with anybody. You know what I'm saying? And Brandon Reef will too. But like, nah, man, I think you I don't know. I don't have the numbers. I should look it up real quick since I got the Google machine right from me. But I don't know the numbers on like you know what I'm saying, rushing yards. I wouldn't go crazy on the rushing yards. Rushing touchdowns, I think that's.
He had 136 yards rushing last year.
Yeah, I would think they're going to definitely use him in goal line situations.
Mm-hmm. I think it's a real possibility of seeing Anthony Richardson go for 3,500 yards passing this year, and I think touchdown wise would not shock me. Passing wise, maybe 22 to 23. And rushing maybe 7 to 8, so put about 30 touchdowns for the season.
Mm-hmm.
If you have that should put you in the playoffs, theoretically. It's 7 teams that get in. If you can have a 30 guy, for instance, And if you can keep your interceptions below 10, I think you have a real good shot. Dak Prescott, I don't think you got enough credit last year because everybody dogged his ass, including yourself, for the playoff performance, right? Dak Prescott had over 40-some touchdowns and only 9 interceptions last year. And he threw for over 4,000 yards.
Right, kept his underneath double digits.
So I don't think it's right to grade him off of one performance in the playoffs where he did all right. The defense didn't show up against Green Bay.
But wait a minute, Brandon. He's the quarterback.
I understand, but he's doing his part. He can't play defense.
Not his part. He's supposed to overcome. He's supposed to overcome. You already in film session, so you know what you do, what you can't do, what your running back can do, what Lamb can do, or whatever, right?
He had his best year last year.
And if you know that your cornerbacks, you're not gonna say it publicly, but if you know if from a Dallas Cowboys, if your cornerbacks are a little questionable, or maybe your head coach's play call is a little questionable, you ask him for $65 million. You want to live in a Patrick Mahomes world without the Patrick Mahomes hardware. This is what the new goal is. This is what it is. So,
but John, my thing is,
go ahead.
And I know they had a rough start, and the Packers played great defense to start. It was 27-7 at halftime, Green Bay. And then Dak and them kind of, you can say it's junk. He went 41 of 60 for 400 yards, but you lose 48-32. That defense that was pretty solid all year long just kind of
it waffled. I get it, but hey man, they were the veteran team. The Dallas Cowboys always talking about we coming out, we're going to win the Super Bowl. They have the talent. The quarterback, I don't know, man. But he's. I mean, as we get into, it's seemingly like there's again, like we said 2 episodes ago, man. Seemingly like there's a divorce coming. But I also will say that if that gets signed, everybody's coming back. Everybody's coming back. If that gets signed, everybody's coming back.
Steelers and Bills this past weekend, game 2. Bills win 9-3. Offensive line for the Steelers looked like hot lava.
Crap. Yeah.
Complete hot lava. Offensive line was terrible. But if you look at the passing game, Fields was 11 of 17 for 92 yards. Russ was 8 of 10 for 47 yards in his debut. Consistency, yeah, for completion percentage was great, but didn't expect to see too much. Fields had 8 rushes for 42 yards, including a 20-yard run. Tomlin still says it's Russ's to lose, but you got to see a little more from Russ, but you're not going to see it now until the regular season, I don't believe. I think you're going to see a dose of Justin Fields this week for a quarter, and then you're going to see Kyle Allen play the entire rest of the game. So, and you still don't have a wide receiver besides.
I know.
And here's the thing: Ayuk still hasn't signed a deal with San Fran. They asked Shanahan today, and he said there's no new update. He still turned down different contract extensions that the 49ers have offered. So I don't know where the hell we are with it anymore.
Yeah. I don't know. I wouldn't think that he'd play out the rest of the year with San Francisco. That's awful dangerous, bro. You know what I'm saying? I know players generate millions and millions of dollars, man, but you know what I'm saying? He's looking for top wide receiver money. The Pittsburgh Steelers want to pay him top wide receiver money, man. Like, I get the compensation is maybe not what you want, but at some point, even in sports, man, you know what I'm saying? We're talking about trading people, man. So, like, just take the best offer that Pittsburgh has offered out there and just kind of part ways with it, man. If it's 2 first rounders, I don't know. I think it wasn't even 2 first rounders, would it be? You know what I'm saying? For him,
2 seconds and a 4th is what I've heard.
Yeah, so 2 seconds and a 4th. I mean, the way you know what I'm saying, evaluation with talent is, man, everybody finds a gym in the 4th round. Everybody finds a gym in, you know what I'm saying, these latter rounds or whatever. So rather than have some disgruntled wide receiver who we all know wide receivers can be diva. And I'm not saying that Ayuk has ever showed any of this. Well, some of it, you know what I'm saying, he's a little diva right now because we strong playing this media and going back and forth, and you can't get out of San Francisco. But it's better to have. San Francisco has aspirations, right, to get back to and win the Super Bowl. I was gonna say, you know what I'm saying, much less get there. You know what I'm saying? You only get so many bites at the apple. So
right.
I would assume that this situation this take the I know I'm talking like an NBA general manager, like, you know what I'm saying? They make horrible deals in the NBA all the time. Just take the deal that they initially offered, man. Don't worry about the player coming back in return. And San Francisco, get back to business.
Are you ready to crown
Rumble.
the next future Hall of Famer?
Wait a minute.
That's what we saw this past weekend with
You talking about
Caleb Williams.
future Hall of Famer?
That's your tagline, future Hall of Famer Patty Mahomes. But are you going to be at some point possibly saying future Hall of Famer Caleb Williams?
Stop.
Are you impressed? Bears looking good, John. All I got was a Bears with eyes emoji from you while I was gone.
Yeah, no, man, that dude looks pretty good, man. But no, we can't give him future Hall of Famer just yet, man. But I like Chicago and Gary and TY9, man. I like Caleb Williams, man. Y'all should. The Bears haven't had a franchise quarterback in never.
Not Six McMahon, and I'm not talking Vince.
Right. They haven't had a franchise quarterback. It's always somebody, okay, we can prop this up, make it look like whatever. You know what I'm saying? Jay Cutler, right? And, you see why he got kicked out of Denver. You know what I'm saying? So,
yeah.
But like, no, man, this is your guy. I would assume the future is bright. I still think they've got to get some connectivity. I mean, he makes
I thought their guy would have been Jay. I think Jay's been the best quarterback that they've had since they've had quarterbacks. I think he was better. Jay Cutler was better than Rex Grossman. I'm sorry.
Grossman got to the Super Bowl.
The defense got to the Super Bowl. Yeah. So there's that.
I mean, he looks great, man. Caleb Williams looks great, man. Yeah, we'll see. Future Hall of Famer.
Lions and Chiefs. Lions won 24-23, but Chiefs had the highlight. Patrick Mahomes just throwing passes behind the back now. That's what we do in the NFL.
Whatever Aaron Rodgers thought he could do, Patrick Mahomes is doing in sleep in the preseason.
A lot of field goals that game. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 7 field goals between the Lions and Chiefs. Somebody asked me, who do you like, AFC, NFC? I'll say it again. Chiefs out of the AFC until they're beaten. Chiefs to win the Super Bowl until they're actually beaten. And until they get beaten, sorry, I'm going to continue to take them.
Yeah, I don't really see anything in the AFC that's kind of put anything. I don't want. And that's not disrespectful to the Ravens and their MVP, 2-time MVP, right?
2-time. Right? I projected that last year, by the way.
You did.
Thank you.
But like 2-time MVP, that might be you know what I'm saying, the stiffest competition that the Kansas City Chiefs have this year.
Hey,
it's always a surprise team.
Let me ask you this.
But like, nah, man, they coming out the AFC.
A podcast came out with Tua. Sounds like he has sour grapes, man. With he was talking about his relationship with Brian Flores.
Remember when you take sides?
So much negativity, and it wrecked him, and just bad dude, Brian Flores, huh?
All right, Brandon. You want me to go? This is why he brought this up, y'all, because he wants me to go ape shit on this, and I'm sorry that I'm about to say that.
Let's do it.
When I was listening to Tua, I was like, man, is he the quarterback or a whiner? You know what I'm saying? And I get Brian Flores might be hard, but Brian Flores, he came out of the Patriots, so like, man, why was you questioning anything? I don't know. So Tua sounded a little like he wanted to be coddled, but then
right.
In saying that, we had always heard. I hate to talk about it. We had always heard dark. You know what I'm saying? You know me, the deep state. We had always heard rumors that this is what he wanted anyway. That he wanted to be coddled. So because today's athlete, that's kind of like, man, they want to know how great they are. They want that instant. They do, man. If you watch some of the, and I know I'm the only one. Right, I'll be up at 2 or 3 o'clock in the morning watching Sacramento Kings presser, and like whoever's the player of the game, great. They give them a chain. You know what I'm saying? So they got cuckoo. They got. I mean, they just everybody. The way they the gratification and the way today's athlete wants to be overly appreciated. You know what I'm saying? It's kind of. I mean, it's kind of irritating when you know what I'm saying. You come. I know I sound like some old fogey. It's kind of irritating. When you know what I'm saying, all we heard, you know what I'm saying, all we've heard, I mean, saying from y'all go, that it was a grind. I want to grind. Like Tom Brady talked about the grind and wanting to, you know what I'm saying, and working for it, you know what I'm saying? And then you reap the benefits and rewards, man. And Tua just sounded like a whiner. He really did. He came off as a little bit of a whiner, which kind of, like I said, tied that knot. And this is why I'm not trying to take no sides, because like Brian, if he said now if your boss come in, your man, whatever, you know what I'm saying, coach, whatever, come in and say you suck, and that was for real. He said that, like I went to I was like, excuse me, like that made my, I'm like, excuse me, I suck. It been some furniture movement,
right?
You know what I'm saying? I suck for real. I'm the CEO on the field. I suck.
Yeah,
we never heard that. And I'm not saying you got to throw hands. I'm not saying he had to go to, you know what I'm saying, tell HR or tell, you know what I'm saying, the boss. And, you know what I'm saying, like, and we are in this story, y'all, in this story, Brandon, we also have to remember that the Miami Dolphins is also the team that got caught with tampering. You know what I'm saying? The Miami Dolphins also
Brady.
With Brady and whatever else, man. So there is that. And they actually, and then, you know, Flores on his way out said ownership told him to throw games. You know what I mean? So, so I hope somewhere in that podcast they maybe that I know they didn't ask too about the owner. You know what I'm saying? I know they didn't ask him about, I know they didn't ask him about bringing in Tom Brady. And if they did, like, okay, I'm Jonathan Birdsong, and this is Crossroads Sports, and this is Brandon Reeves. This is Crossroads Sports, but I guarantee you, you know what I'm saying? There is no it doesn't make no sense, man. For I don't know, man, for him to be that whiny.
Yeah.
You know, for him to be that whiny, I would just be like, hey, man,
Flores took the high road today.
I'm glad Flores is gone. Yeah, I'm glad Flores is gone. This coach staff believes in me. I'm zipping the ball up like I never zipped before. Because you know what? Tua, is he always 100%?
No.
Prepared? I ain't talking about healthy. I'm talking about prepared. He got some bad tape, y'all. There's a I didn't win scorched earth on the Cowboys, man. Just give me a couple weeks. I go scorched earth. This is the team that scored 70. They scored 70.
They scored 70.
What they do in the playoffs? Did they score 7?
Piss the bed.
I'm gonna go scorched earth on the Miami Dolphins 2 weeks, y'all. It's coming.
Okay. News and notes, John. WNBA All-Star game for next year is going to be in Indianapolis here. They had the men's here, the NBA here this past year.
Yep.
Now they're going to get the women's. The Caitlin Clark effect is in full swing.
I think, and it's nothing to the rookies that came into the WNBA. It's a great rookie class. All eyes and ears are on the WNBA. It's like an extended part. Like I said, basketball world. I say it all the time. It's like an extended season. You know what I'm saying? If you're a basketball fan, as we are, Caitlin Clark's going to be Rookie of the Year, y'all. And it looks like the Indiana Fever are going to make the playoffs. So 2 big things that the Hoosiers, you know what I'm saying, Indiana people love. You know what I'm saying? Basketball. They got another winner down there. They got another win down there downtown in Caitlin Clark. And you know what I'm saying? Like I said, if they keep this winning streak up, they're gonna make the playoffs. I don't have it in front of me, but I think they are stars too right now.
They're in the playoffs.
But no, I'm talking about. Well, I'm talking about to host a game, not to host, but you know what I'm saying, to have a home court advantage. They got
I don't know where they're at with that right now.
I'm
looking right now. That's not that. It's third in their conference. I think top 4 in each get in. So I think right now they'd be on the road either at Connecticut or the New York Liberty, which they are beating them. But John, speaking of scorched earth, I got something that I know you're going to go scorched earth about.
Not me. I'm not. There's only one scorched earth moment per show.
Well, maybe we got 2 tonight. It was reported from CBS Sports that a college basketball transfer wanted a $5 million NIL deal. And then it came out that 77% of coaches have gotten a request for $1 million NIL deals for a kid to transfer. So 77% of kids transferred asking for $1 million to come to their school.
You ain't Zion Williamson, you couldn't get $1 million out of my money. You know what I'm saying? I'm thinking about the most impactful college basketball player. Well, and I know I don't get into the numbers, man. I watched the tape interview today with Nick Saban. Basically, man, he quit because they wasn't they felt like they wasn't playing for the program anymore. They playing just to come to get paid.
Right.
What the Mike Shepsons of the world, Nick Sabans of the world, like they trying to tell you, we'll get you paid, but you got to come play for our program so that you can be you'll start here and then you become, you know what I'm saying, all those things, man. But like now,
right,
we just got guys just one. Hey man, I average 20. You know what I'm saying? At Marquette, I'm going to transfer to Illinois. What can you know? $1 million for that? Are you serious, man? You better stay. I mean, but we have conglomerates and whatnot that'll pay for it. You know what I mean? It's not necessarily a bad raw deal though, Brandon. You know, because I don't know how long we got the COVID year still left, but you know, guys using that last year of their
hopefully not too much.
You know what I'm saying? That it's kind of cool, but like, man, $1 million, I would tell the dude, you better go to the NBA and see what they say, because we're not giving you no million.
Yeah, I thought that was interesting to see. I was like, holy cow. College football, John. Pick'em is going to be here. Pick'em is here in a week. There's only 4 games this weekend.
Okay.
So we're getting a little bit of an appetite of some gamage, but we won't actually do any pick'em games this week. We'll start it next week,
right,
with week 1. Week 0 games we have this week. The big one is going to be Saturday at noon on ESPN. Number 10 Florida versus Georgia. Oh, sorry, number 10 Florida State versus Georgia Tech in Dublin, Ireland.
That's crazy.
Florida State 10-point favorites in that game, John. Florida State, they've got their QB. If you remember right, John, they've got the I believe they've got the Clemson guy, DJ Ogulele, as their QB, the transfer again to their team. So senior year for him now this year. Last year he played out west at Oregon State. Had an all right season, but now he's moved to Florida State. As we'll see what the Florida State can do. Sneaky, John. As we preview college football, I don't have Florida State winning the ACC this year.
I don't have Florida State in the playoff.
No, I don't have them winning.
I went over my playoff teams. Shame on me, my actual paperwork. So I went over my playoff teams. I know that kind of deep, you know, I didn't want to jump right into it, man, but they wasn't one of the teams. And this is not necessarily up here for ACC play. I think Clemson ultimately is going to be the champion, but Miami's going to have Miami. Unless the bottom falls out, Miami should, you know what I mean?
I've got them in the top 4. Sorry. And I hold on. I want to preface this because
Brandon, go preface it. Let me go get my real notebook. But go ahead.
Yeah, let me preface this. So I have Miami in the top 4. And I'm not saying that they're going to be a top 4 playoff team or a top 4 team of the country. Let's talk about the bracket now, because the bracket is going to be different. So the top 4 seeds now are conference champions. So, and then the 5th team is the 5th conference champion to be 5, and then whoever the automatic qualifier, not as a big school. I have Liberty as being the 12th seed in the playoffs. I have them taking on, I don't even know where my paperwork went to. Here we go. Somewhere around here, I've got my college football. Yeah. So I have on my bracket.
Let's hear it.
Well, I'm trying to explain because I had somebody chirp me about you got Miami in the top 4? No, but they are the 4th. They will be the 4th highest conference champion. So that automatically gives them the bye. So I've got them out of the ACC winning that conference. A couple things with Miami, John. The transfer game is just as important nowadays. Cristobal, who came from Oregon down there, had a couple rough years, but now he's stacked 3 consecutive top 12 transfer classes.
Mm-hmm.
He also just got the number 4 quarterback and the number 2 running back transfer in America. He's got Cam Ward from Washington State out there now. Power 5, similar Cougar Raid offense that they have. I just, in 2022, Tennessee had the revival season.
Yep.
Last year, it was Texas. This year, it's going to be Miami, man. I got Miami this year, and I've got them with a bye going in the playoff quarterfinals.
Yeah, that means we'll see more Michael Irvin You know what I'm saying, on our video screens, right?
Yeah.
I didn't like, we'll compound more on Miami, and you know what I'm saying, as they go through the season. But like, Brandon, I got another news flash for you, man. I don't want to hurt your feelings, man, because I know you're a fan of his programming and whatnot. But I didn't have Ole Miss in the playoff either.
You should. They're going to be a great team.
I didn't say they weren't going to be a great team.
They're going to finish second in the SEC.
I don't know about that.
They will finish second in the SEC. Promise you. That schedule, the way that schedule is.
Go ahead. Expand on it.
Yeah, let me bring them up real quick.
Ole Miss.
Ole Miss, John.
I didn't really like that schedule, Brandon, but second in the ACC, you think Texas will Texas? Yeah. You Texas.
Sorry, third.
Thank you.
It has to be third because I have them numbers. It has to be third because I have Ole Miss number 7 in the seeding, and I have Texas at 5.
Okay.
So, but no, John, Ole Miss, third best team in the conference this year coming up. You look at the schedule, they've got Furman, Middle Tennessee State, Wake Forest, Georgia Southern, home against Kentucky, at South Carolina. They're at LSU, which that'll be the tough one. Home against Oklahoma, at Arkansas. They're home against Georgia. They're at a terrible Florida team, and they're home against Mississippi State. What's that look like, John? You have no Texas. You've got no Alabama on that schedule at all. No Tennessee on that schedule at all.
Mm-hmm.
Schedule works out for no Texas A&M. That schedule works out for them this year. Florida, by the way, that'll be the first head coach, Billy Napier, to lose the head coaching job. That'll be Billy Napier this year.
For his head, like the last.
But for Ole Miss, John, I had a couple notes.
Great.
14 starters come back to a top 15 offense and a top 10 passing offense. The 14 is a technicality because they lost 3 starters, but then they added 6 off of another Power 5 offense. And with the all-SEC wide receiver from Alabama, and as well as 2 linemen from Washington to that team. Ulysses Bentley's going to get the reps behind as a running back there. They still got their QB, Jackson Dart, back there behind the offensive line. They've got the number, what they ended up having. They had the number 1 ranked transfer class this past year. So for the last 3 years, they've went 2, 1, and 1 on transfers. They're starting to call him now the Portal King, man. 3 straight top transfer classes, loaded the roster with All-Americans. It's time for Ole Miss to cash in, man. I've got them 3rd in the SEC. We'll also learn them an at-large spot in the playoff. I've got them coming in at number 7.
Okay.
I am high on them. Not just because of the Lane train, but I'm high on them this year. I think they're going to make some noise.
I got Notre Dame making the playoff.
Yeah, absolutely. They've got a very feasible schedule themselves.
They got their man Riley Leonard at quarterback. Y'all better get to him. Just kind of worried.
11-1. I've got them 11-1.
I'm kind of concerned about. I got them 10-2. I'm kind of concerned about that A&M game.
Yep.
Got huge week 1 game. Huge week 1 game for them.
Who they got week 1?
I think they got this A&M. Do believe.
Yeah, Texas A&M week 1.
Yeah.
That game is at 7:30 on ABC on the 31st. So that'll be a huge one.
Here's the tricky thing about Notre Dame. Cannot be a top 5 seeded if they make, you know what I'm saying? Because they don't have a conference champion.
Correct.
Yeah. So even if Notre Dame does go undefeated, you know what I'm saying?
They can't be better than 5th.
They can't be better than 5th, y'all.
Yep.
Some fair.
So they will never have a bye. So they're going to have to win one more game. Then they could be the number 1 team in the country. Guess what? They're not going to get a bye. They're going to have to play through, and it'll be crazy.
They change it.
Seeing it. But looking at that schedule, they're at Texas A&M, home against Northern Illinois, at Purdue, home against Miami, Ohio, home against Louisville, which they lost to Louisville last year. Jeff Fromm. Home against Stanford, who has no identity right now for them. Home against Georgia Tech, home against Navy, home against Florida State, home against Virginia, home against Army, and then at USC. So they've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 of the 12 games are at home. I actually think one of them's on the road. One of them's playing somewhere else. And the Navy game is being played. Where the hell is that being played?
It's in Dublin, ain't it?
No, New Jersey, MetLife. So, yeah, they Notre Dame easy 11-1 could happen for them. Yeah, I've got them as my 8 seed, John. So if I go through my bracket real quick,
Go ahead.
and I'm sorry I don't have the graphic to put up for it, but I've got Georgia as the number 1 seed, Ohio State as the 2 seed, winning the Big Ten, Utah the 3 seed, winning the Big 12.
Whoa.
Cam Rising,
Whoa.
Utah. Sorry, Oklahoma State.
Whoa.
I can't trust that quarterback, man. That's his 7th year in college football.
I had them. I kind of got Utah I got them in the top 10, but I don't know, man. The Big 12 not gonna carry that much. Not with Utah.
Who do you think? They're gonna win the Big 12. Do you trust? Okay, they're the high. Okay, do you trust Arizona?
No, what I'm saying as far as seeding, man, the politics gonna come in, and
they have to, John. They have to be a top 4 seed because they're going to win the conference.
Conference champion.
Yeah, so they have to be top 4. That's why it's crazy. That's why it's so crazy. And previously I had Oklahoma State in that position.
I know you're going to go wild, Brandon, when I say that. I think Kansas wins the Big 12. They return. I know. See, because they're like, that would be ugly. That would be ugly.
Kansas
got
4.
Kansas got to start running back. What's his name? Devin Neal. I can't do it.
They don't have the main star. The main star is that Ollie from Oklahoma State.
Well, no, they got a solid quarterback in Daniels, the quarterback. Kansas returns the star running back from last year.
Yeah.
I think Kansas, Big 12 is kind of wide open, man.
Can I tell you where I have Kansas?
To winner?
Can I tell you where I have them?
Man, you probably got in the Big 12 or in the whole thing.
Big 12.
You got them under prime or over prime?
I've got them better than prime. I've got them 8th.
Nah, man, the Big 12.
Here's the teams I have better than Kansas: Utah,
sure,
Kansas State, Oklahoma, TCU, Iowa State, Arizona, and UCF.
Man. Dude, this is gonna play out. Hopefully, this is gonna play out great and pick them every week, man. But no, man, I think I think that I really do think the Big 12 is wide open. Utah got a great defense. They returned, you know what I'm saying, a lot of starters from last year.
Yeah, Utah's got the 5th best quarterback, the 9th best running back, the 2nd best wide receiver and tight end tandem.
They got a lot of
number 1 defensive line and linebackers, and 2nd defensive backs in the conference.
Yeah, they got a lot of tough games on the road. That's all I'm gonna say about Utah. But I'm not gonna hate on Cam Rising. His health is another thing. You know what I'm saying? Because he's a dynamic college football player. But Utah only goes as far as Cam Rising goes.
So I've got Utah winning the Big 12. So that's my 3. My 4, I told you it's ugly. It's Miami, the Canes. The U is back. Hey, you win the conference, you're going straight to the playoff top 4.
Purdue had, hey man, hold on, man. Dabo Sweeney ain't going so out. You know what I mean? That's not. He didn't
have to go out, but he ain't gonna win it.
Well, he ain't no portal guy. He's
exactly. That's why they keep falling behind.
I think Clemson probably. I had Clemson winning the ACC this year.
I got him 3rd best. I got Florida State better than them.
Oh no.
Oh yes, no. Absolutely.
Oh no. Oh no.
I can't wait for Pick'em. I can't wait for Pick'em.
These games. Write down these games. I can't wait for Tanner to hear. You know what I'm saying?
You tell me you trust Kluber?
I trust Dabo Sweeney and what he like.
You don't trust that quarterback. Nobody trusts that quarterback.
This is the transfer from Duke.
The Klubnik. Cade Klubnik. Nobody trusts that quarterback. He sucked last year for Clemson. He has no identity. He is terrible. John, the problem with Clemson is that Dabo Sweeney, as you said, does not go into that transfer portal. And that's what you have to do to adapt, to adjust. And he's not doing it. So what you're seeing here, and I've got the stats right here for you, John. This year, they had the lowest recruiting class that they've had when they just stuck to recruiting in the last 8 years. 11th, which I know that's top 10 almost, right? So it's still a hell of a recruiting class. But in the portal, John, they've went – they're 2 years in the portal. 102nd and 133rd ranked in the portal. You know who was above them in the portal? Ball State.
Hey.
Clemson's not doing it. They're not doing it. When you don't do it and you don't adapt with change, you don't have successful programs. And for them, successful, yeah, you can say, hey, most teams be happy with 8, 9 wins. It's not going to win the SEC. I'm sorry. It's not. Clip it. Put it out for the Clemson fans. I'm sorry.
He already knows it's coming, man. Because I can't wait for Pick'em. You make sure Clemson's at least one week. At least, you know what I'm saying? Week to week. Thank you. I can't wait.
Yeah, Clemson's they're frauds. They're frauds. Clemson is frauds. Put it out there.
I can't believe that. I thought you were going to reserve that.
Give me a second. I'm bringing up their schedule.
I thought you were
they're going to get they're fraud. They're going to get smacked in the face week 1. They play Georgia.
Iron sharpens iron. I remember that game. Like Alabama used to be like, "Oh man, we can't play Clemson." Not until no, man. Hey, man, all right. George, listen, I'm not.
They play at Florida State. That's an L. So there's 2 L's.
Wait a minute, man. Georgia, I will give you. Georgia's a different program, but guess what? Hopefully, Georgia can get their situation together. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying with they off the field. But
Tiger fans aren't even happy with their own quarterback. Klubnik, they're not happy with him.
Happy with it.
Sorry, man. It's
Brad Reef does not have Clemson in the playoffs.
It's bad. Now, when you ignore the transfer portal, it's all over for you. It's a wrap, and that's what I think it is for the Clemson team. So, as I said, I had Georgia, Ohio State, Utah, and Miami as the top 4. 5-12 matchup in the first round. I've got Texas against Liberty. I've prepped Liberty, John, about a month ago with you. I like their schedule. I like what they've got coming in talent-wise. Texas, though, will be the 5-12. I got Texas beating them. The 8-9 matchup, I've got Penn State, Notre Dame. I think that's going to be a great one. If you would have Penn State and Notre Dame. I've got Notre Dame, though, beating Penn State and James Franklin, who always to find a way to choke. This time you're not choking against Michigan. You're choking against Notre Dame. So Notre Dame advances. 6-11, I have Oregon and Oklahoma State. I've got Oregon win that game. Just because Oregon's a 6th seed overall, John, I think they're maybe the 3rd best team in the country. Dylan Gabriel at quarterback. You got Jordan James there at your running back position. I said Oregon needed one more year to win the Big Ten. They just need 1 year, then they'll be ready to win the Big Ten next year. And then 7-10, I've got Ole Miss at 7 and Alabama coming in at number 10. SEC matchup there. Alabama's going to need another year with their head coach to kind of get that new philosophy. And so many people left Alabama. I know they've got so many guys coming in, but DeBoer needs a little more time. They hit the transfer portal, but it wasn't that great for the ranking that they have. This is Lane Train's. This is his year. This is the year to shit or get off the pot. So I've got Ole Miss beating them there. So I've got a Miami and Texas matchup in the first semi. I've got Texas winning that one in advancing. I like what yours has done. They're going to make another run. Texas is. Notre Dame and Georgia. Georgia, one of the top teams in the country. I've got Georgia beating Notre Dame there. So setting up a Texas-Georgia matchup. I've got Oregon beating Utah. It's the old Pac-12 again. Oregon, I said they're a great team. I think they're one of the top 4 teams in the country. They're going to prove it here. They're going to beat Utah as a 3 seed advance. I've got Ohio State over Ole Miss. So Texas versus Georgia, Oregon versus Ohio State, a rematch of a season game we're going to see. So we got SEC and Big Ten in the Final 4. I think that's what everybody wanted. That's what the committee wants. That's what these super conferences want. Right. I've got Georgia versus Ohio State in the national championship, and it has to be there ain't no question. The people in Columbus down the road here on I-70, it has to be Ohio State win this title this year, or Ryan Day is out. Chip Kelly, your head coach. They've got the best defense. They've got one of the greatest offenses this year coming in. It's got to be Ohio State's year. I've got the Buckeyes winning it. It has to be. Or I-70 may burn down between here and Pittsburgh. It's going to stop in Columbus and burn down.
They're going to take that beard dye out of his hair. Out of his beard.
Chip Kelly could be named next coach the very next day.
Man, don't trust that. Dude, I didn't.
Monday, January 21st, Chip Kelly be named head coach if Florida or if Ohio State does not win the national title.
And they'll be dancing in Ann Arbor. They'll be dancing, laughing. Not that I don't have Michigan nowhere near anybody's national championship game at all. this year. But like, no, man, some of those teams, I like what you put down. You know what I'm saying? Especially, you know what I'm saying? You saying Ohio State has to win for sure. When you talk about the at-large group, you know what I'm saying? I like when you mention Liberty. They should definitely be mentioned this year, especially after the year they had last year. When I was banging, you know what I'm saying, banging the gong for them, saying, hey, man, they should be in a better – I think I wanted them in the Peach Bowl or something crazy. I wanted them in a better bowl game. But, like, there's some other teams, especially out of the American, that we kind of need to look at, man. Memphis this year could roll, you know what I'm saying, could somehow end up with only one loss. And somehow, you know what I'm saying, become a group of five. Boise State's interesting for them, man, even though the kid transferred from USC, you know what I'm saying, wasn't named the starter. Boise State, you know what I'm saying, we always have to remember the Smurf Turfers, man. I think UTSA is the highest ranked currently top group of five team in the top 25, man. So, you know, there's going to definitely be, you know what I'm saying, some competition there. Don't overlook the Vols ever. They got a huge game against NC State. You know what I'm saying? I think it is at NC State as well, man. You can't negate, you know what I'm saying, the power of you know what I'm saying, even though NC State, we mean you just in the previous segment, we don't have necessarily NC State in the top 3 of ACC play, but I think I got them in it on the pack. That's you know what I'm saying, Vols playing them.
100%.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good road.
I always win up a little bit of money. I always win a little money on NC State at some point. I always take a couple games with them. So,
right, but they got the kid Nico who's going to look incredible for him at quarterback this year, man. Might be, you know what I'm saying, in you know, Heisman or whatnot. I don't know who's the Heisman going to be this year. I'm not that far down the wormhole just yet of college football, man.
I've got you some candidates.
Oh, there you go. But like, nah, man, this was
pretty chalky.
This would be a grand opening for Oregon to lay some smack down on the Big Ten. Penn State, everybody knows they always have great. They have a top 5 defense, y'all. You know what I'm saying? If your NFL team is looking for defense, you know what I'm saying, they should be looking at Penn State's tape for sure. With this coaching staff, you know what I'm saying, they got to get that offense going. It's not necessarily they don't have paltry offense like Iowa, but Penn State got to get the offense going this year. I got them in the play.
I would fire the offensive coordinator Brian Ferentz last year. Kurt Ferentz is still there. I don't think that changes the offense still. In the head coach philosophy, the offense sucks. The quarterback, John McNamara, I watched some practice tape of him.
Mm-hmm.
This dude in the fall, like open practice for everybody to watch, all the fans to come watch the black versus white game.
Mm-hmm.
3 interceptions, 2 fumbles, 27% completion percentage. This is their starting quarterback.
They pay NIL money for him?
They booed him at the scrimmage. The fans did. Firing Brian Ferentz isn't the job. You got to fire Kurt Ferentz. I'm sorry. You got to change that entire philosophy up out there in Iowa. Their defense is going to be great. The offense is still shit.
Yeah, they'd have to fire the most winning coach in Iowa football history, man. But yeah,
they're terrible.
Like, man, those are some of the teams that you know what I'm saying. You know what I'm saying, outside of the
Purdue's going to be terrible. They may only win 3 games.
Pouty. How many Scagnetti gonna win? Now that's the retort.
4.
You gonna win?
Sorry, 5, I'm gonna say 5. They may start out 5-0.
The Hoosiers?
Let me give you the schedule.
They got some. You know what I'm saying? Some cherry pickers.
Yeah, let me give you this schedule. They may start out 5-0 at least. I was looking at and I started adding up things, and I said, "No, wait a minute, I'm starting to get too big on this the win-loss record." So their schedule for the Hoosiers. Give me a second here. It brought up the basketball schedule. I want football. Here we go. Signetti. Home game, Florida International. Chalk it.
That's a
home
win.
game, Western Illinois. Chalk it.
That's a win.
They play at UCLA, but I'm going to tell you this. I've got something about UCLA. Then they home against Charlotte. Then they're home against Maryland. There's your first 5 games. They'll at least be 4-1. Then they're at Northwestern, home against Nebraska, home against Washington, at Michigan State, home against Michigan, at Ohio State, and then versus Purdue at home. So they're going to at least be 4-1. The only other team that could be worse than Purdue this year is going to be UCLA.
in the Big Ten play? You think?
Yes. They play at Hawaii, home against Indiana, at LSU, stomping. Home against Oregon, stomping. At Penn State, stomping. Home against Minnesota, possibly. At Rutgers, Rutgers is going to be good this year,
I don't think so.
stomping. At Nebraska, they're going to be good this year. I got 9 wins for Nebraska, stomping. Against Iowa, they ain't gonna be able to see it. They're gonna see a defense like what the hell against Iowa. They've played a Big Ten defense, stomping. At Washington, a loss. USC, a loss, and they play Fresno State the last game of the season. So awkward.
Brandon, because they got those California football.
And here's why they're gonna finish last. When your head coach goes to an opening press conference on media day, and he shits the bed with his opening statement,
it was terrible. Man, we're just happy to be here.
You think this guy's going to get, Deshaun Foster's going to get his players ready to play in a locker room when he came and talked to a media for an opening statement? What the hell's he going to tell this team?
Like I said,
Stop it.
Oregon sent a big,
duck.
50-foot inflatable duck for their Big Ten presser, man. And our homie showed up, and he was kind of UCLA, man. Did they supposed to be smart out there in California? And I'm not disrespecting the state of California. I have never been out there before, but I'm talking about UCLA, y'all. I'm not the state of California. Don't take me seriously. But listen, man, what I'm trying to say, man.
They woke.
I'm woke. Did they not look at the fact that you are a basketball school, which is all fine and doing great, but it playing in California. So you joining the Big Ten, because USC needs you? You taking your rival with you, right? USC, you know what I'm saying? USC was, hey, somebody need to date us, right? The last couple of seasons, right?
Gotta go with us.
It would have made more sense for US, you know what I'm saying, at some point, like the Big 12 to get involved with the Pac-12, right? But that didn't happen, so you can't put the, you know what I'm saying, the apples back in the jar. But like, nah, man, I don't think the folks out at UCLA really thought the impact of their program and how it's going to make them. Look, when I look at what you said, they got to go from here. They got to play LSU. They got to go here. They got to go. I'm like, man, for one, like, they don't get the athletes.
No.
You know what I'm saying? Consistently enough on the football field. And I know we just got Fatu here in Indianapolis, man, but that's one guy, you know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So
last guy they had was that quarterback. I can't think of his name that was out there. Was it DTR? Didn't he play at UCLA?
Yeah, but the thing though, Brandon, like I said, they don't I don't think they're
terrible. They're going to be second to last, dead last in the Big Ten.
Would they be able to compete in basketball? Yes.
Yes. Football? Hell no.
But this whole move was supposed to be football money is bigger than not if you leave UCLA for the next 5 seasons. It doesn't matter who the coach is. That's why the homie left and went to Ohio State. They're going to be the walking mat of the Big Ten.
For sure. 100%. 90th recruiting class this year. 90th coming in. And 44th in the transfer portal for UCLA. So it's going to be a tough year. But looking at the Big Ten Conference, John, just some teams that I expected, and we've talked about this. I really like Nebraska this year. I like what they can do. I think they at least get maybe 8-9 wins, and Matt Rules finally turns this team around this year. I really like what they've got. They play Colorado as their big game number 2, coming to Nebraska, Lincoln. Another team I like, Rutgers. I think Rutgers is going to have a great season there. I've got them in the top 7 in the Big Ten this year. I really, really like Rutgers' schedule. Tell me, and they're playing all the right teams. It's an easy schedule for them. They play Howard, Akron, at Virginia Tech, home against Washington, at Nebraska. That'll be your tough one. Home against Wisconsin, home against UCLA, at USC, but then you're home against Minnesota, at Maryland, home against Illinois, at Michigan State. You avoid the Michigans, you avoid the Oregons, you avoid the Ohio States, you avoid the Penn States. If they've got the schedule, the lottery schedule, basically the best schedule you can get in the Big Ten.
That's crazy.
Rutgers got it. They should have 8, 9, 10 wins in the conference this year, overall, and be in the top of the Big Ten.
Especially Minnesota game gonna be tricky for them, but yeah.
And the other conference team I have, John, I'm interested to see how they do. Is Wisconsin. Luke Fickell his second year with this team. I thought they'd have a big year last year. They didn't have it. One more year to turn this team around. Hey, you got Alabama to come north of the Mason-Dixon line this year, coming up to Camp Randall on September 14th. But they've got kind of a tough middle schedule with Penn State, Iowa, and Oregon, and then at Nebraska. But I'm going to be – you can't count out a Luke Fickell team. I think Wisconsin improves on what they did last year there. It's so crazy. You look at some of these teams, John. You still have Michigan there. You've got USC. We didn't even talk about USC or even Oregon yet. But Oregon, I said, is going to be winning the Big Ten probably next year.
Right.
They need 1 year of play in the Big Ten. They got Dylan Gabriel. He's a Heisman candidate this year. He could be a Heisman winner. Will Howard. You're not a fan of Will Howard, Ohio State. I think he's a Heisman candidate this year as well.
Right.
The Big Ten is going to be interesting, and how some of these teams do. But I like Wisconsin. I like Nebraska. Love Rutgers' schedule. Whatever Rutgers over-under is, let's take a look at it real quick. Let me bring it up. We'll check this out together on our screen here. So if we're going to go to college football via DraftKings, let me remove our banner here so we can actually see it. All right, here. So if we're going to sit here and look, let's look all the way over here for our props. Let's see. Wins. Let's look at wins. So we're going to look at Rutgers. Over 6 is minus 150. God, that's huge. I wish there was an alternate line. I wish they had an alternate line here of over 9 wins because I would hammer it with them. Over 9.5 wins easily for them going this year. Let's look at some of these other schools that we talked about here. Where was he? Let's see here. Colorado, over 5.5 wins. That's kind of where Vegas has them, over 5.5. We talked about last week that they're pissed off out there, and the media is already pissed off at Dion. Dion's pissed off at them, and he's ready to leave. That'll happen. Wisconsin, over 7. I love that plus 120 for them. Over 7 wins, Wisconsin at plus 120. I think they definitely can something they can get done this year. In the SEC play, let's talk about Oklahoma. Oklahoma had a rough year last year. You know that GIF that's always on Twitter of the boomer schooner that's going out there and it tips over and falls? That was basically Oklahoma's season last year. Interested to see how they're going to play in the SEC this year.
Again, man, SEC play, to be an SEC team, they're going to argue it out. It's some, you know what I'm saying? They're going to argue out like some of them Power 5 teams that shouldn't be up there. They don't play anybody. That's going to be the argument kind of come up. I guarantee you, man.
Yeah.
But I like Oklahoma. This is probably going to be a year or two or for adjustment for them. From being so, at least from a program standpoint, so dominant for so many years in the Big 12. And now, you know what I'm saying, you're playing similar teams that they play, you know what I'm saying, from year to year. But like now you're consistently facing them from week to week. So it's gonna be real. But I think Oklahoma, they'll maybe 8 wins this year.
Okay. Let's do our first. We're going to do our first Pick'em game. It all starts next week, folks, but we're going to do one game this week for Pick'em. Number 10, Florida State, minus 11.5 against Georgia Tech in Dublin, Ireland. Tanner will join us next week for the show this week. And we may just do Tanner on video like this. This might be the easiest thing to do with him possibly. But Florida State, Georgia Tech, John, 11.5 is the Pick'em odds. What do you like? Who do you like?
I don't think. I'm not going to show and prove and say I can say I don't think Florida State sucks all the way this year. But them, you got them in the play. I'm still kind of rock salty over that, man. But give me in this particular game, just give me Florida State.
Okay, I'm going to take Florida State to cover the 11.5.
Yeah.
It opened at 15. It's down to 11.5 right now. Which means a lot of people are taking Georgia Tech in the points. I don't know what to expect from this Georgia Tech team. I need to see some games from them. I'm not expecting a big ACC from them this year either. Right. But I'm going to take Florida State to cover. we're at least going to start hopefully 1-0. We'll see what Tanner picks there on that game, and we'll add it to the pick'em when we put it out on Twitter and on our Facebook page.
Right.
But college football is here, John. I'm excited. You're excited. Football is here, whether it be college or NFL. I've got a draft tomorrow night for the NFL already, fantasy league, and I've done little to zero research for it. So
Kelsey,
I've got that. And then, yeah, we dive right in, man. College game day this Saturday. So appreciate it, John. Any final words before we cut it out the stream tonight?
Nah, man, I know, you know what I'm saying, it's a great show, man. Thanks, Scott K. Nichols, State Farm Insurance, all those good things. That's our sponsor, number one sponsor, man. If you have any type of insurance needs, you know what I'm saying, be sure to tap into Scott K. Nichols, man. Outside of that, man, it's been another great episode of the Crossroads Sports Show, man. I know I do like when the folks kind of call in, man. So you know what I'm saying, if anybody, you know what I mean, was calling another dude, don't blame me. It's the blog talk and whatnot, man. I think if we can get our act together, right, you know what I'm saying, next week's gonna be another great show for sure. We got some surprises, man, up our sleeves. And then just like surprises, you don't want to say talks about them, but like it's gonna be some treats and things. The fall season's upon us, man. Y'all know I'm a big TV nerd and head like that, man. So I put when we come up with the board for Crossroads Sports, man. Like I'm saying, I think of it as in seasons, man. So you know what I'm saying, it's coming, man. We're gonna have some great. I just did spoiler alert, y'all. We're gonna have some great guests come on. Me and Brandon are gonna be even more, you know what I'm saying, gentlemanly cordial to one another. You know what I'm saying, in our takes and whatnot. You know what I'm saying. So like, no, man, it was a great show tonight, man. Episode number 312, I do believe it is. You know what I'm saying? So like, no, man, we're talking. And I know people's like, well, why don't you talk about no basketball? Like, man, basketball's in the off season, y'all. So sorry, y'all. And you ain't watching the Yankees. You know what I'm saying? And the true MVP. You know what I'm saying? Judd. I don't know what you're watching as far as Major League Baseball. So there you go, man. But like, no, man, we'll get to more into baseball. Y'all know that as the playoffs and all that kind of comes on. I know the Redlegs won the other day, man, but shoot, they so far down in the daggone win-loss record, you know what I'm saying, column, man.
Yeah, it's a wrap.
Ain't even worth talking about this year. So outside of that, man, you know, great episode, man. So, you know what I'm saying, I gotta go back and get that clip of you and Clemson, man. I know it's gonna piss off.
Yeah, absolutely. Tag the football program in it. I don't give a shit.
Oh!
Tag him in it.
All right.
I'll tag him in it. I'll retag him after you put it out, and I'll set it. College football starts this week, guys. Pick'em starts next week. We've got the first game in on tonight. Tim will get Tanner's pick. We'll be on Facebook. It'll be on the Twitter page and Instagram, of course, as always. Conversation never ends there. We'll see you guys back next week. Bigger, better than ever. Thanks for listening.
Thank you.